Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Teno Merkaba, and in this video, I'm talking about Leo Moon in 12 astrological houses. So in my previous video, I spoke about just the Leo Moon, like the not the arch, the archetype, the archetype of a Leo moon, and then this is basically just like Leo moon in the houses. But in my last video, I just spoke about how Leo moons are very, very like what makes them feel comfortable is having attention. Makes them feel comfortable is kind of being the center of attention, and they love and appreciate they love and appreciate appreciation. Aka praises. They love just being around really fun people, very expressive people, kind of honest people. They love being around like things that look nice, feel nice, like they have hedonistic tendencies, kind of like a Taurus moon and a Pisces moon and a little bit of a Leo moon, a Libra moon. But they're very fun people to be around. They know exactly what you need before you even like say it out loud. They know how to help. And even though they may do some things just so that you could be the one to say, oh yeah, this Leo moon helped me with this specific thing. For the most part, they are very helpful. They're not selfish people, even though they can be very self-centered people. They're very warm and friendly, kind. But just check out that video before you watch this video, or not, whatever. But yeah, so Leo moon in the first house. Now this is either for people who have a Leo rising or people who have a Cancer rising, right? Because then you can, if your Leo moon is like in a very early degree, then it could fall into the previous house, right? But for the most part, if you have a Leo moon in your first house, right? So this is the sun, right? So Leo is the sun, and we know that the sun illuminates things, right? So it shows us what's there. So this is what we can judge from, right? So we can like this is what we can see, right? And with a Leo moon, like we can, people see whatever it is that you're feeling. So it's hard for Leo moons to hide what they're feeling, just because the sun is there. But if your Leo moon is in the first house, right? So not only are you reacting, and not only are you responding, and like not only is this the world that you live in, which is the first house. The first house is your personal house, things that you're personally interested in, your personality, how you personally look, so your face, shit like that. Um, um, People, places, and things that are in your personal life. So this all falls under your first house, right? So if you have your Leo moon here, right? So this is what we can see from you, right? So we can see the personal things in your life. We see your personality. Like it's hard for you to kind of hide the personal things that are in your life, just because, like, even if you have, like, because the moon is in the first house, right? And the moon doesn't really like to be in the first house. So it's more so like and because the sun is here also, it's like we see the personal things that are in your life, right? So if you're personally insecure, then people can see this from you, and it's gonna kind of frustrate you in your life, because it's like you can't really hide anything. Even if you're a Scorpio sun sign, like it's gonna be very difficult for you to hide. So you're kind of like an open book. But yeah, basically like everything that you're feeling internally is going to be shown through your personality, through your first house. So I think for you it's very important to have like friends that kind of know this about you, and know when to like not say anything and know when to say something, because with Leo it's going to be very explosive. And if you have like one of your friends that like kind of point out, oh wow, you look like, then you kind of like, it's going to irritate you, because you don't want that, like you don't want to, it's like you don't want to talk about it in a way. And I feel like it's really important for you to find friends that kind of know when to shut up, and know when to like step in and talk about whatever, like put in their 2 cents, that type of thing. um yeah, and if it's in the first house, right, so what makes you feel comfortable and what you react to is your personal life, right? So the personal people, places, and things that are in your personal life are probably very much like childlike. So I feel like personally you like to surround yourself that are also like with that have like their own person. So I feel like with this you may feel very comfortable around Leo rising people, or like around Sagittarius rising people, or like Aries rising people, or even Libra rising people, or Gemini rising people, just people that are very expressive, you know, even like Gemini sun sign, or all those zodiac signs that I listed, you like the sun signs, you may like being around those people, you know. So personally, I feel like personally you get a lot of attention because of your personality. You may have a very big personality, you know, and you like gravitate a lot of people towards you, and then that's what makes you feel comfortable. And depending on whether or not they kind of share the exact same personal interests as you, then these are the people that you feel most comfortable around with, you know. But for the most part, it's really about like your own personality. So I think with this, you can also be very selfish, you know, like you may be the type of person that you kind of get mad if somebody else gets attention or more attention than you do, you know. So then you may even like kind of be a hater in a way that you like start talking mad shit about whatever somebody else is doing. And then but because Leo energy is kind of very relatable, and it's kind of like Libra energy, you know. I hope I said Leo energy is kind of like Libra energy, where it's like relatable, and you're able to kind of like say specific things so that people like, so you're able to turn people against somebody else, just depending on if you don't like them. So with this, you also may be like a little bit of a hater, because if you're not getting attention, then you may take that shit personally and start thinking, oh my god, something wrong with me. Like, what's wrong with me? What do I have that what does she have that, what does he have, what does she have that I don't have? That type of energy, you know. Like, you can get very competitive with this shit, but like unnecessarily competitive, you know, because somebody may just be there chilling, you know, and they like maybe that specific day the transits of the earth were like on her side or his side, and they were getting attention just by them being them. And then you get like really angry about them because, and then you take that shit personally, like, oh wow, what do they have that I don't have, you know what I'm saying? And then you just start doing like weird random shit just to get attention back. And even if people are like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And it'll be like one of those situations where it's like, as long as they are talking about me, as long as they are looking at me, like that's what I want. Like that's what I want. You just want that attention. You know what I'm saying? So chill with that, Leo Moon people in the first house. Just like learn not to take everything so personally. And if people don't give you attention on that specific day, don't take it personally, because some people may just be in a bad mood. And then you as a Leo Moon, you might start thinking that you could be the one to like make them in a better mood, or you just like force out something out of them, you know. And then you may kind of just even make matters worse, you know. So just learn when to like chill out, you know. 'Cause some people don't always have the energy for you, you know. And then if they don't, then boom, you start taking that personally. You're like, oh wow, you just don't love me anymore. You don't love me anymore. Why? That type of thing. And then Leo Moon in the second house, right? So we know the second house is all about your values, things that you value, people, places, and things, even yourself, right? Because the moon is exalted here in the second house. So with this, with the moon in the second house, it's like you value yourself, right? Because the moon is basically your internal world. So you value that shit. You value your feelings. So you like with this, you value attention. You know, you value your pleasures. You know, you value whatever makes you feel good. Then that's what you value, right? Because like I said in my previous video, Leo moons can be very like hedonistic, where they like live for pleasures and shit like that. So you may value that. So I think with this, it kind of like puts you in like a little Pisces moon type thing, a little bit. Well, we'll get to like your Leo moon in the 12th house, because that's a whole different thing. But yeah, with this, if you have your Leo moon in the second house, you just value things that make you feel good. You value people, and you're comfortable with people that are somewhat comfortable with themselves and like know how to honestly express themselves, you know, but in a childlike way. And you don't like, I feel like with this, you're uncomfortable with people that always take shit so seriously, you know, because like you yourself, you're very childlike. And even though some things are serious to you, like if you're not getting the appreciation or the attention that you want, you know, that can be very like, that could be a serious situation for you, where you start feeling like, you know, like the wounded cat, and you have to lick your wounds and shit like that. But for the most part, like you as a Leo moon in the second house, you very what makes you feel comfortable, or what makes not what makes you feel comfortable, but actually what makes you feel comfortable is valuing yourself, you know. But I feel like with this, it kind of makes you even more self-centered, just because now, like with this Leo, like what makes you feel comfortable is getting attention, right? So on one side, it could be like you value yourself so much, so you're not like one of those Leos that kind of always attention seekers, because you know for yourself that you are the shit. You know what I'm saying? So you've internalized like, okay, I'm the shit. I'm really dope. I don't really need somebody else to tell me how dope I am, because I already know that, you know. And then anybody else who does give you that attention, it's like, oh well, I mean, duh, that type of thing. And then you know how to kind of like return the favor back to that person, whoever gave you attention. Um, and then on the negative side, it could also just be one of those things where people don't even like you just because, like, you know, like in Zulu, there's this saying called "uyashitshela," you know, but in English, it's mostly like, oh, you think you're the shit. That type of thing basically translates to that same thing. It's like, oh, you think you're the shit, huh? Oh, why you think you're better than everybody, that type of thing. And then you, as a Leo Moon person in the second house, you probably do think you're better than everybody, you know, just because you have that self value. Like, you really value yourself. You value your emotions. You value how expressive you are, you know. Um, I feel like this is from, if you watch Girlfriend, this is like kind of Tony Child's kind of energy, you know, can be very selfish. Even though I think Tony Child is an Aries, she gives me a lot of Aries energy. But just fire energy. I don't know if she's a Leo. She could be a Leo sun sign. But I feel like she's an Aries. Comment down what you think Tony Child's star sign is. Joan is definitely a Virgo. Cancer. But anyway, it's not about girlfriends. I've just been binge watching that shit like the entire week. Like, I'm on season 7 now, so Tony's not even there anymore. Um, yeah. But that's the kind of energy, you know. Yeah, Tony Child energy with like Leo Moon in the second house, you know. Um, you can be very selfish with this. I feel like you could also be very selfish with yourself and with the things that you have, you know, kind of stingy. Like, not selfish, stingy with this kind of energy. You can be a very stingy person. You don't like people wearing your clothes because you don't want somebody else to look better in something that you bought for yourself. You'd be like, what? Oh, hell no. Take it off. Take it off. Switch it off. Get out. Nope. You know, you're like, nope, get out. Oh, man. Oh, I love Leos. But yeah, that's that's the thing. I think also with this, you may be very, very thick. You know, like maybe very big bone. I don't want to say fat because like that's not gram. That's not, what's this? I don't know. Something. My brother said I can't use the word fat. But like, you know, maybe thick. You know what I'm saying? Maybe like juicy in all the right places. Um. Also, just like, cause yeah, you may value, like I said, you value everything that like makes you feel good, you know. So if food makes you feel good, you may overindulge in that. So I feel like with Leo in the second house, you may overindulge, and you may not even know that you're overindulging, and that's the thing until like a big catastrophic moment happens. Like, let's say you fuck a lot and then you get pregnant, and it's like, oh shit, wow, damn. Or you eat a lot, or you smoke a lot, and then you become an alcoholic, or you do a lot of drugs and you become a fucking drug addict, or you a shopaholic, or whatever, you know. You may overly do things. You may overly watch TV. If you like sleeping, you sleep way too much. um you may waste a lot of money on like doing your hair, your nails, your makeup, all of that shit, you know, because for the most part, this is what makes you feel comfortable, is to feel good. So if these things make you feel good, you're probably going to overindulge. So just make sure you don't overindulge, but just know your limits, you know what I'm saying? Just know your limits. Like, these are the type of people that like may even be like, I can drink all night, da 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 da, and then just to prove it, you know, just so they can be the attention that they can drink all night, and then they pass out and throw up, and then it's not cute. It's not cute anymore. And then if you have your Leo moon in the third house, so okay, third house we know is like about things that you're familiar with. This is like the Gemini house, right? So it's all about the mentality. So kind of formulating words that you're familiar with because you've learned them through somebody else talking to you. You know what I'm saying? So with the Leo moon in the third house, you probably are very like an expressive talker. You probably like to talk a lot and talk with your hands. This one makes you feel comfortable, is communicating, but like with your friends, your family members, or like your siblings, you know. But most of all, your friends. You probably feel like most comfortable around your friends, even if it's like new friends, you know. And you get a lot of attention for communicating. So you're probably the one that's always telling ndabas, you always have the tea, you know what I'm saying? You always have like the juice, like you're always the one. People come to your house and here's the thing with Leos now. Because Leo's very dramatic, right? So some they may just have gone to, so this is kind of what makes them liars, you know. But to a Leo moon, it's not lying. It's more so like giving more life, giving more creativity, giving more color, you know, giving more fire, enjoyment into a story. So a Leo moon or Leo energy, they could have just gone to like a regular grocery store just to buy chips, you know, and they may have met someone from school and they had like a brief hi bye conversation and they left. A Leo moon, no, they won't tell it to you like that because that's boring, you know, and Leo energy isn't boring. Like, I feel like this is what makes Leo sad. Like, a Leo's sad when they're bored. That's why they create catastrophic moments. But for the most part, if you have your Leo moon in the third house, right? Like that whole thing that I just said, you won't say, oh no, I just went to spa, I met this guy, and then I left. No, you're gonna be like, show me. So listen. I went to here. You know, I looked all nice and had my makeup done. Da 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 da. You know, I'm the shit. Da da da. So then I went to the grocery store. You know, I'm doing my business. Da 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 da. Then you pause for a while. I look over to my left. Show me. Let me tell you something. I see this guy. And I'm like, do I know this person? Do I? I look back. You know, I'm minding my business. I don't want to make it so obvious. Bruh, I look back. It's this guy. He comes over to me. We start talking. Da 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 da. You know, chill lives. You see, you become dramatic. Like you give life to a story. You know. So I feel like with this, you'd be a really, like you'd be a good actor. Period. But I feel like you'd be a really good public speaker with this. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry to make that whole thing dramatic, but like Leo is very dramatic. Like Leos will make anything so dramatic. Like, you know. But yeah, like you can be a very good public speaker with this. Yeah, but for the most part, I feel like what makes you feel comfortable is telling stories, you know, and you probably use your hands a lot. Like you probably use your hands a lot when you tell stories. In South Africa, when people tell stories, they do this. I don't know how other people do this, but this is what we do. We just, especially in the black, if you grew up in like the location, aka the hood, you know, you just like, you know, that that type of thing. So if you have a Leo moon, you probably talk like that. But if you didn't and you grew up in like suburbs, you know, you probably also talk like this. Yeah, I went to the store and you know, and this happened, and I went that type of thing, you know. And this is what makes you feel comfortable. You know, you feel it's mostly like around your friends, you get attention for talking. You know, your friends might get attention for like having a car, but you'll be the friend that gets the attention for your stories. You know, and you're funny whenever you tell stories. Like you're a very, very, very funny person. These are your comedians. Leo moon people in the third house, even in the fifth house. But these are hella funny people. Period. You know, and I feel like they're able to like kind of construct like they know how to kind of formulate the words in a precise way to like make you understand exactly what it is that they're feeling, or even they know how to communicate somebody else's feelings and make somebody else understand how they're feeling also. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like it's a nice thing that they have Leo moons. But yeah, that's Leo moons. If you have your Leo moon in the fourth house, right? So you may have been the one in your house, because the fourth house is your home, your domestic issues, you know, basically your home, you know, like your house, like where you live, or wherever you feel at home, basically. So I feel like in your home, you know, you probably the one that gets a lot of attention at home. You know, you may have been the only child, or maybe you're the youngest child, because the younger children always get the attention, or the eldest child, you know. So it could also be one of the situations where you always get into trouble, and then you always get the attention because your parents are so fucking frustrated from you, because you always like out doing some fuck shit. You always like I don't know, you're always doing something that always gets attention at home, you know. So even if it's like unsolicited attention that you always get attention from your family, you know, your mom, your dad, especially maybe your mom probably gives you a lot of attention, you know. She may even be very overprotective, and she's always like trying to ask you, where are you gonna be safe, can I drop you off, who are you gonna be with, you know. Yeah, so you also may you may also like do snarky shit at home where you purposely like run away from home just to get attention, you know, or you like, you know, your family is like a very, very, I don't know, your Christ or your parents are like preachers, and then you just run away with your girlfriend or your boyfriend, and then boom, you get attention from that, you know. But for the most part, like Leo Moon people in the fourth house always get attention from family. Like they always have attention, even if like they're very shy Leo Moons, and like out in public they don't really like they're very kind of private. And even though they still do gravitate attention from people, because Leo is like, you know, Leo's gonna get attention regardless. Wherever you have Leo in your chart, that's where you get attention from, or that's where you receive attention, basically. Um, but yeah, with Leo in your fourth house, you probably get attention from your family members, or anyone that you consider your family. You know, um, I don't know. You even may have your mom. Your mom probably has you as her profile picture. Or your dad has you as her profile picture on her WhatsApp. You know, that type of vibe. But for the most part, you just get attention from home. You know, and then if you have Leo Moon in the fifth house, right? So basically, fifth house, like I explained in my previous video, or I think in this video, fifth house is basically how you have fun and entertain, like how you have fun and how you enjoy yourself, things that you're entertained by, people, places, and things that you are entertained by, or that you allow to entertain you, you know. So things that basically entertainment, you know, childlike energy, you know, just like having fun, not taking things too seriously, you know, so just like having fun. So Leo um Leo basically is ruled by the fifth house, right? So this is kind of like a double emphasis. These are the people that are extremely, like, they are extreme with their emotions, you know. So these are the people that kind of like, I don't know, these are the type of people that kind of almost do too much, you know, when they feel something, because they may start feeling like, oh, okay, when I'm around people, I always need to be this expressive. I always need to be like this fun and like enjoy it, like I always need to be this fun person, and I always need to um I always need to give the exact same energy, which is like that intense fire up energy. And you may be around like a Libra or even a Virgo a little bit, or like a Taurus or a Pisces, like just passive signs, like even a Libra a little bit, you know, and they may be like, whoa, dude, why you do, or even a Capricorn, you know, or an Aquarius, because this is your opposite, you know, Saturn and the Sun, they're opposition planets. Um, but you may make these signs kind of feel like, whoa, why you're doing so much to get attention, you know. And two, like this is like the world you live in. This is who you are, like constantly, you know. You're very expressive about everything, and a lot of people, it could also kind of be a thing where it's like, oh, you're only doing things just to get attention, you know. And on one end, it could be, yes, you're doing things to get attention, but that's what makes you feel comfortable, is getting attention, you know. And you like, because you're so creative and so fun, and you probably wear really like cool, interesting clothes, or your hair may be done in a very interesting way, or it could be anything really, but anything that you do is like very interesting, and like just like always, you always get attention from shit that you do, you know. So these signs may also like, you come across kind of very distasteful to these signs, you know, because it's like, wow, you always make things about you, you know. You always have to make things, everything has to always be about you, you know. But to you, it's just like, yo, I'm trying to make everyone feel like happy, because I have all these feelings, and I want everyone to like kind of be on the same happy vibe that I'm in, that I'm always in, you know. Because I feel like with this, I feel like with, if you have your Leo moon in the fifth house, you most likely have an Aries rising or a Pisces rising. Yeah, either Aries rising or Pisces rising. Um, but yeah, you just kind of like, you love, like, you naturally just always gravitate attention, you know. You probably, people usually probably stare at you all the time for no reason, and it may make you feel uncomfortable, but I feel like you grow up knowing that, okay, this is just something that always happens, you know. Like, oh wow, you just have something about you, like you're someone that people always say, there's just something about you, even if they haven't spoken to you, you know, there's always just something about you, you know. But once people start to get to know you, and they start spending time with you, and then they start realizing, oh my god, like, you're so fun, and you're so warm, and you're so like friendly and warm, you know, shit like that. Um, and you like when people say these things about you, because I feel like you like, not only you love attention, but you love compliments with this too. You love being complimented on how creative you are, and you probably are extremely. I feel like with this, you are a child. Like you're very. I feel like you also throw a lot of temper tantrums. If you, like, you may be very spoiled with this too. You know. I feel like this is also the same with like Leo moons in the fourth house. You may be very spoiled. You know, with this. But in the fifth house, you also may be very, very spoiled. And if you start having children, then you're probably gonna spoil the shit out of your children. And you like being spoiled by whoever you're dating. And you probably spoil your friends, you know. But this with this, I feel like you can be very like you have extremely expressive feelings, you know, like kind of somewhat intense, but not like Scorpio intense, just like intensely expressing yourself, you know, like very, very fiery. And you also like you love being around fiery people too. That's what makes you feel comfortable, because then you don't have to start feeling like, oh wow, am I doing too much? Because it could also be one of those things where it's either you do too much or you feel like you didn't do enough, you know. That's the type of thing. So I feel like with this, like, have your Aries friends, have your Sagittarius friends, have your Gemini friends. Even though Gemini will judge you because they'll be like, "What the fuck? Why are you expressing?" Because they're not like expressive people. Um, yeah, have your Taurus friends because Taurus are very accepting people. Pisces too, but Pisces also. Mm-hmm. Eh, yeah, a little bit. Have your Scorpio friends too, because they'll appreciate that passion from you. And then if you have your Leo moon in the sixth house, so what makes you feel comfortable is working, your schedules, your routines, and everything. So I feel like with this, having your Leo sun, your Leo, I mean not Leo sun, your Leo moon here, it kind of step into Virgo energies where it's like people can see when you're not in like a healthy state. So you if you're not comfortable, you may get sick easily, you know. If you're not like if it could also be a thing if you I don't want to say if you're not getting attention you may get sick, but if you're not feeling appreciated, or if you're not feeling like people appreciate you, then you might start getting really sad, right? And then you might get sick because of this. And then people will look at you like, oh my god, you're so dramatic, what the fuck. But for the most part, what makes you feel comfortable is working, right? Is working, is like having your routines and whatever. But I feel like with this, you could also be like, you could be like a yoga instructor with this, you know? Because yeah, if you think about yoga instructors, they're like, you're the center of attention, but you're telling people how to do something. Like you're telling people, oh, go into downward dog, go into your savasana, whatever that they say, you know, that type of thing. Or I feel like with this, what would make you feel comfortable is being in like a job or position that like where you can kind of be the boss, you know, and where you can like have the attention or just tell people what to do, you know, and that type of thing. Um, but I feel like with this, it could make you a little bit thinner, you know, because you also care about your workout routines and whatever routine that you have. You know, you may have like a specific night routine that you do every day, and I mean, I don't know. A lot of people might ask, like, you may be the person that people come to ask, oh, what skincare products do you use? Where did you get that? Where do you get your hair products? You know, what do you use for your hair? Or I don't know. You may have a YouTube channel, and then you talk about beauty and shit like that. So in that way, you get attention from that. You know, so it's like your daily routine. You can get attention from your daily routines and your workout schedules and your health and shit like that. You know. So you could be like here. I feel like you could be like a what's this? Uh, like those people that help you work out, or those people that kind of like help you get on a diet, and people that help you just, you know, those type of things. I feel like you could be one of those people, you know. But also I feel like you could also be very controlling and kind of like to tell people how to live their lives. You know, you can be with this. You can be like a very controlling Leo that likes to, yeah, tell people how to like be a healthier person. So you may be like, I feel like this could be like the energy of, oh my god, you should be a vegan. You should be vegan. Oh my god, I'm vegan. Yeah, I'm vegan. I'm vegan. That type of thing, you know. And then and then if you have your seventh house. Oh yeah, if you have your Leo moon in the seventh house, right? So now Leo does not technically like to be in the seventh house. More so the sun doesn't like to be in the seventh house because it's a full here. So instead of expressing, its expression is in the mental. So I feel like with this as a Leo moon, you like getting, say the seventh house is like your relationships, your one-on-one relationships, how you relate to people, places and things, how you just like the one, like, you know, you could be with a group of friends, but it's different when it's like just you and your friend and you guys are relating your life. So that's a lot more intimate, you know what I'm saying? So that's the seventh house. So you could even do this exact same intimacy if you're watching a movie and you relate to a character, you relate to whatever, you know, whatever that you're relating to. So this is the seventh house. So if you have your Leo here, you probably like to get attention in your relationships. You know, this is when you start to strive. Oh, you're the type of person where, like, if you're dating someone that's a lot more dull, or like someone that's very like kind of mellow, like Capricornish, Taurusish, you probably the one that's always like giving the life. You know, you're like always the one that's like very lively. Or it could be the opposite way. It's like you always gravitate, or you always like attract people that are very like that are very passionate, you know. So you may be like more quiet, but you always attract people that are very like creative, passionate, like attention seeking kind of people, you know. If you have this transit, I mean not transit, if you have this placement. So yeah, you may be the one that's like always seeking attention in relationships, or you may attract a lot of people that seek attention in relationships. It depends though. But for the most part, if you are the one attracting people, so you probably like those people to be very creative, very childlike, you know, not taking things too seriously, because you like to have fun, like you love having fun, and you love just like chilling, cruising, having like going out dates, you know, you like that. Or you may be the one, like, you, if you have a Leo moon in your seventh house, you're probably very romantic, but like almost to the point of like, it's like no one can out romance you, you know, because you always go big, like above and beyond, like go big or go home, that type of thing in your relationships. And you kind of feel like you can kind of not take it personally, but you can kind of, I think with this you can also be very codependent, you know, can be very codependent with the Leo moon in the seventh house, where it's like you feel like the only time that you can be yourself is when you are in a relationship, you know. And you kind of like having that like back and forth kind of, okay, I did something for you, you should do something for me. So then you as a Leo moon, you might do something super big, and then you expect somebody else to do something even bigger for you, you know? But here's the thing, like Leo moons, you guys should know that not everybody can do that. Okay, not everybody, people love you differently, you know? You're gonna get love differently. If you're dating a Taurus, you're gonna get love through physical things. If you're dating a Gemini, it's gonna be talking and communicating and sharing information. If it's Aries, it's through their actions, you know. If it's Cancer, they don't know emotionally connect with you, that type of things, you know. And you as a Leo, you may love in a completely different way. And then you also may kind of, I don't know, you may also kind of, you may like, you can kind of give your emotional baggage to your partner. And that emotional baggage may be very dramatic. And then your partner may also like kind of view you as too much, you're being too much, you're being like way too expressive. You know, why are you talking over me? You're always doing things over me, you know, and you're like, oh my god, but I just love you. I love you so much. That type of thing, you know. But yeah, I also feel like with this, you can be very, like, very smart. Because, like, what makes you feel comfortable is being in relationships, you know? So even if it's, like, your one-on-one, those one-on-one conversations with your mom that you have, it's most always about shit that you're into, you know? So I feel like you like to relate to people about things that you are into, you know? And if they don't kind of, like, share similarities as you do, then it's kind of like, you know? Because Leo is fixed, right? So if you aren't relating to a Leo, then they kind of like, you kind of put like a distasteful taste in their mouth, like, oh, why, what the fuck, what's wrong with you? And then if it's in your 8th house, if you have a Leo moon in the 8th house, I feel like it's also kind of difficult for you to hide your desires and shit, because Leo's also there. So you may, how you also may be like one of those people that, like, when you start like being expressive and explosive with your emotions, and you kind of like, it's like you tell on yourself, you kind of like, you expose yourself, you know, that type of person. So it's really difficult for you to like hide your emotions, even though it's like easier for you to manifest things quickly, you know. It's very difficult for you to hide those things. And I feel like your humor could be like, some people may not kind of get your humor because you may sound like every time you say something out of reacting to something, it always has like a thing of, oh, you mean something, like that means something else, you know. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of thing. Um, but yeah, if you have your Leo moon in your eighth house, like you see now, the moon doesn't really like being in the eighth house because it has to be secretive and selfish as hell, and only tend to its own emotional needs. And but Leo's also doing that by being like selfish or self-centered. You know what I'm saying? But it's in a fiery way. But in here, your Leo moon is in its square house. So with this, I feel like you like the world that you live, because it really doesn't matter if it's in, even though it's like, okay, I'm just thinking about like how specific, like for example, if you have your, like for me, I have my Gemini moon, but it's in the fifth house, so that's like a sextile, so it's somewhat harmonious. But if you have your Leo moon in the eighth house, because that's a square, you're still learning. I feel like, oh yeah, you have to learn. It's like you're learning how to express, or you're learning how to like express your secrets in a way that's like somewhat relatable, or it could be learning how to not express some like secrets, you know. But I, like I said, with this Leo moon, it could be difficult to hide things just because the sun, it always illuminates on everything, you know. Um, but yeah, um, okay, you could be like with a Leo moon, you could be very manipulative. With your Leo moon in the eighth house, you could be a very manipulative person. You know, make someone feel good just so that they can do something for you. You know, but sometimes it may not be like to be malicious or anything. It could really just be like you could just use this energy just to get yourself in a specific position. Now, you guys can decide whether or not that's a good or a bad thing. You know, I mean, it is what it is sometimes. Just as long as you're not really hurting anybody. Because I feel like to a certain point, everybody is a manipulative person, you know. But if you have a Leo moon here, this is what makes you feel comfortable. So I feel like with this, you kind of always somewhat uncomfortable, you know. But I think maybe you're just here to learn how to be uncomfortable in those, how to be comfortable in those uncomfortable situations. Do you know what I'm saying? Like be comfortable with knowing that you're somebody that can't hide things, you know. So kind of know how to formulate those things in a very funny way. So your secrets don't even look like secrets. So people don't know. People don't always have those, like people don't always feel like they have something to pin against you, you know, just because you need to learn how to take that and like kind of like filter it through humor, you know, because once people can laugh about it, like, you know, it is what it is at that point. And then if you have your Leo moon in the ninth house, you are somebody that you react to the world that you live in. So like the ninth house is your wisdom, you know, religion, spirituality. It could also be traveling, you know, traveling overseas, shit like that. So it makes you feel comfortable. I feel like this makes you a very spiritual person, you know, like a very, very spiritual person. So you kind of already, when somebody is around you and they're like, if they don't know how to like formulate their emotions around you, I feel like you already know how to, like you've already burned through that reality and you know exactly what they're trying to say. So you kind of, then you perform mysticism in that way where you like already know, like you know what they're feeling, even though they're explaining it like really poorly to you, but you know exactly what to say and what to do in order to make them kind of see the other side of something, you know. And then like give them wisdom on, like for example, let's say somebody comes to you with an issue like I don't know, I broke up with my boyfriend and I'm really sad about this and I feel like everything is gonna suck and shit like that. Then you as a Leo moon in the ninth house, you may be like, listen, friend, breakups happen all the time, but everything is really just an experience, you know. And even though it hurts right now, you should know that it's all like, it's like eating, you know. First it was external, now it's internal, and then it's going to become external again, and it's all just an experience and it's all just a process. So you may be feeling like this right now, but you won't feel like this in 2 years, you know. And whatever that you went through, you probably had to go through, because it's all part of your own divine lesson. and you just know how to make, you know, like that type of thing. You just know how to make somebody kind of feel good, or just like see something in a different light, or just like see something in a more positive way that isn't so detrimental, you know. And I feel like you do this with yourself too, even though sometimes you can like brood, but you always have this thing where it's like, okay, I had to go through that so I could learn something. And even though maybe I don't understand it right now, but I know like I had to go through this, you know. So you kind of live life in like, you don't, it's most of like you don't take things so seriously, but you take everything serious. Like you take everything spiritually. So not seriously. So you don't really look at life in the lenses of, oh wow, that was bad, that was good. You just look at it as, oh, that was just an experience I had to go through, you know. Or that was something I had to learn. Oh, I just learned something about something, you know. So I feel like with this, you're also very good with people, and you're very good with kind of knowing people and psychologically understanding people too, you know. um yeah, but you're very wise. Like you have very wise emotions, you know. You're probably the grandmother of the group, and you always have some wisdom to drop. And even though you're very fun too, you're very fun to be around. And I feel like you're the type of person, like once you get drunk, you start speaking about like your religion or your spirituality. And even if you don't drink, maybe like you may not drink though, but you always have like little like you like getting attention. So these may be the pastors also, you know. So you may like getting attention from your spirituality. So you also may like start a YouTube channel and like start speaking about some spiritual shit too, you know. Or whenever you start traveling overseas, you get attention overseas, you know. And then that makes you feel comfortable is to travel, because through traveling you like learn about people and you gain wisdom about people and like about different cultures and shit like that, you know. And like other people gravitate towards you that are foreign, like foreigners gravitate towards you because they're like, oh wow, you know, you look interesting and shit like that. And then if you have your Leo moon in the 10th house, so you are somebody, 10th house, the 10th house is your midheaven, and midheaven is basically your reputation, you know, what you are, what people know you to do. You know, it's not like you're ascending, because this is your personality, like in how you look. Your 10th house, I mean, not your first house. Your first house is how you look and all of that. And then your 10th house is basically your reputation. So what people know you to do, what people know you for, you know. So with this, not so, the moon doesn't like being in the 10th house either, because instead of reacting to emotions, it's reacting to the external world, which is how people view them. So what makes you feel comfortable is having status, right? So you like, what makes you feel comfortable is getting attention from your status, and you like other people, you probably gravitate towards, or you people who have status gravitate towards you, or you gravitate towards people who have status. So these are the type of people that might start dating people that are like, I don't know, celebrities, you know. Because with this it's like attention, you know, and Leo moons are all about the attention. So I think with this, because they already gravitate, people already always gravitate towards them, you know. A Leo moon person might always feel like, okay, I have to have something that people know me by. And even if that Leo moon person like doesn't really have, even if they're not doing anything, they may like just post pictures on Instagram or like have vlogs or shit like that. You know, they have some kind of status. I feel like with this, you probably are a Scorpio rising, you know. So you just gravitate, like people just, you just have something about you. Like you have like this thing about you that people really like. So just you already having that, you probably would, you probably have like a basketball player or something like that. I don't know, a musician, an artist that's famous that like likes you just because you are who you are. It may not even be a celebrity, but just someone that's very popular in the area that you live in, or I don't know, just people that have status, you know. Or you may gravitate a lot of status, you know. So just be sure with this to have something to show for, because you don't want to be like one of those people that are like, I don't know, pretty without anything to show for, pretty without talent. Or even if you are, see, that's the thing, even if you are, like, that's your reputation, right? And people always gravitate towards you for that, because that's what makes you feel comfortable. But for the most part, I feel like what makes you feel comfortable is, see, I feel like these are the type of people that like care a lot about what they wear. It's the same with Leo rising people. But thing is, Leo rising people, even if they wear like, even if they dress like shit, they're still gonna get attention regardless, you know. But I feel like if you have your moon in the 10th house in Leo, you care especially about how you dress, your appearance, you know, because you don't want people to think, oh wow, like I feel like these are the type of people that like would probably spend a lot of money on clothes just so that other people don't view them as someone that's like that has less than, you know. But for the most part they can be hustlers also, and know the specific lingo, like how people talk and like where people go to, you know, just they know where it's at, and they know where to get attention, and they know the type of people that they can hang out with that can kind of put them on the stage and like kind of put them on, like just, you know, like they know this, like they know how to get other people to put them on, that type of thing, if you have your Leo moon in the 10th house. um but yeah, and then if you have your Leo moon in the 11th house, so this is your opposite, right? So Leo's opposite to the 11th house because the 11th house rules Aquarius. So with your Leo moon sign in the 11th house, right? So already the moon doesn't also like being in the 11th house, because instead of reacting to like nurture and home and emotions, it's reacting to associates, it's reacting to the unfamiliar, you know, people, places, and things that are unfamiliar. And the moon is about familiarity, you know. So yeah, instead of that, it's reacting to associates, things that are unfamiliar, people, places, and things that are unfamiliar, weird shit, you know. And then if it's in Leo, it's like getting attention for this. So with a Leo moon in your 11th house, I feel like these are the type of people that like they feel more comfortable around like their friends and their homies, and they usually get attention from their friends and their homies, you know. Or the friends and the homies that they have are probably from different like cultures or different like like they probably, I don't know, the Leo moon person probably would have went to like a different school. Like in South Africa we have this school called Cambridge School. I think it's like an international school or something. So a Leo moon person may have gone to those kind of schools, and then they meet friends from like all parts of the world, and then they kind of like formulate a like a family type of thing with those people, and they feel more like at home with those people as opposed to feeling at home with like their mom and their dad, you know. Or they may like those people that they meet that are like super international, they may be like they may have a lot of, they may gravitate a lot of attention, you know, and then they like being around people that have a lot of attention, because to a Leo moon, it's like, oh, if I'm around attention, then I'm probably gonna get attention eventually too, you know. Or it could be another way where it's like the Leo moon person is the one that's getting attention, and then the associates that they're around gravitate towards them because they're like, because they want the Leo moon's attention too, you know, that type of thing. So I feel like with these type of people, it could get also really fuzzy, because it could be a thing of Leo, like Leo moons can be kind of gullible, especially if they're getting appreciation and stuff, you know. Like I feel like with this they can it can get kind of backstabbed by those people, especially if those people don't really, if they see, okay, Leo moon person is getting attention, so let's just be associated with the Leo moon, and then ruin the Leo moon's life, and then just make it seem like it was the Leo moon's um it was the Leo moon's fault, just because the Leo moon is like, they always want attention, so it will make it seem like it was like they fucked up, because just they fucked up just because they wanted attention, you know. So just watch out for those people, because you can get backstabbers with this too, you know. But for the most part, it could also just be you gravitate towards a lot of people that are like also very weird and original and unique, and like you like these kind of people, because then you start feeling like you can be original and unique around these people too, you know. um but it's always like we always gravitate towards people that are like just not familiar to you, you know, like people that didn't grow up in the same area as you did. Like you feel more comfortable with these kinds of people, and you like learning about these kinds of things, because it's like, oh wow, I have a new opportunity to know about somebody else's culture, and then you know, like we can shine together, that type of thing, you know. And then finally, if it's in your 12th house, the final house, if you have the Leo moon in your 12th house, you are the 12th house is your subconscious, things that you're subconsciously aware of, things that you subconsciously do, you know. Just everything that you're somewhat unaware of but you do subconsciously. Like, so for example, you know, we all have trauma, and we all deal with trauma, or we all deal with these things differently, you know. So we all like, the way you react is always It's always like some kind of subconscious reason towards why you do the things that you do. So this is the 12th house, right? So with Leo in the 12th, and also 12th house deals with, this is the Pisces house, so it's like your imagination world, your dreams, also illusions to a certain point. But it's also a very spiritual house, but most like it's basically your dreams. So if you have your moon here, right, so you're reacting towards your dreams, and you reacting you're reacting towards your imagination. This is the world that you live in. It's your imagination, your dream world, your subconscious, right? So you can also like soak in other people's subconscious world. So with this thing, if Leo is here, you're also expressing this. So this is what kind of makes you very Neptunian, like very Piscean, like. So it makes you feel comfortable, because already the fifth house is dealing with creativity, right? So if you add the 12th house here, it kind of adds like a double layer of creativity and imagination, and somewhat like it amplifies the childlike energy. So with this, it makes you extremely, extremely creative. Very creative, like very childlike, very animated. You know, but it could also be a thing of you're very it's like you can somewhat be uncomfortable with reality. So you may be the type of person that lives in the illusion. Like you really live in an illusion. So, and sometimes it can be very like you thing is, you can even step into illusions like subconsciously, and instead of, like, for example, let's just say you were gonna phone somebody or text somebody, or whatever, like you promised to do something, right? But you just watched the video or you just watched the movie that made you feel good, so now you step into that, and then like you subconsciously like create that imagination for yourself that you live in, and then you forget to phone that person or do that thing that you said you were gonna do, because now you're in your illusion, now you're in that dream and that imagination and that world, basically, because this is what makes you feel comfortable. This is what you're reacting to. So I also feel like with this, you may have had like you may have been like a child that was like, you may have, like, your mother may have been an addict or something, or smoked a whole lot of weed, or you may like smoking a whole lot of weed or doing a whole bunch of shrooms and acid and all of that, just because it puts you in that imagination, like, not reality world, because I feel like with this also, you can like very much express your illusions and your imagination. So you're very good at painting. You can like paint your imagination, or act out, maybe very much into acting, or music also. I feel like your music may be a very big part of your life, but if you do make music, you kind of know like the specific things, or like the energy that you should put into a specific line or song in order to like convey the specific emotion that you want to be felt. um but yeah, that's the thing with Leo. Leo, what's this? Leo moon in the 12th house. So not only that, but I feel like subconsciously you know how to act out other people's dreams, and I feel like you know how to like kind of draw out other people's imaginations, because you may be around like a Capricorn that's very dry, and you kind of know how to like soak in their imagination, and like you know how to like just bring it out of somebody, because I feel like you're not comfortable around dry people. You're not comfortable around people that are like very dull and like work orientated and that have no time for imagination. Like that Saturnian kind of people that are always serious about life, because like you're very animated, and you're very like, you're just very lucid. Like just very, you're just not in touch with reality with this. And even if your sun is in Capricorn, I feel like you're very like, you're an imaginative Capricorn. But I think like with this, at least if you have a Capricorn sun sign and your moon is in Leo in the 12th house, you kind of know how to construct your dreams and actually make them a reality.